Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast. Today is the day after America's birthday, July 5th, 2023. We bring on Harvey Freed, the host with the most Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We'll be back on the air, Harvey Freed.
Yes.
This Saturday from 9 to 10. Good morning, Harvey. How are you?
Good morning, Harry. What's going on?
It's all going on. We also have the Google of the office, Lisa Lawson, the queen. She was crowned queen of Macomb County. That is a reoccurring role. She gets crowned that every year on January 1st. Good morning, Lisa Lawson. How are you?
Morning, everybody.
Good. The Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, like the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, 2289 is our MLS number. It's produced and directed by Roberto Beauchene, who's in the booth today. Well, panel, we are back from celebrating America's birthday yesterday. Tell me what you did, Lisa, over the weekend.
I actually went and saw a movie that I've wanted to see for a really long time. I'm a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, so finally went and saw the third one before it left the theater. So that was my big weekend. Saw some fireworks from my house and spent some time with my family.
That's wonderful. I love that. Mr. Harvey Freed, what did we do over the weekend? Weather was fine.
It's all a blur, but I know I ate way too much junk food. I ate a lot of potato chips, pretzels, candy, licorice. I ate more garbage, Hershey bars, and those s'more things. Yeah, I ate more garbage than I think any other human out there.
Yeah, well, Harvey, I don't think you're alone. I mean, of course, over the weekend we had a lot of activity around here. The weather was mostly good. I would say it was probably about 75, 80% nice out. It was hot. It was humid. I like it that way. And that's one of the big things in Michigan. That's why we celebrate Michigan so much. Those of you who grew up here in this great state or have vacation homes, we'll talk about vacation homes in a minute. Being outside in the summertime is the best part. You have barbecues, you eat too much. Maybe some people drink too much. You got to be careful with that. You play golf, Harvey. I played a little golf for the first time in a long time. Played a little golf, a little pickleball because I'm old now. Lisa, you mentioned movies. I think I watched Top Gun Maverick 3 times over the weekend again. And I saw it May 27th when it first came out. I think it's a great movie, but that shows you what I know about movies.
It is a great movie.
It was unbelievable, Harvey. And it pumps you up. You know, it's a real good story. It's a feel-good story. Problem is, Iceman dies. You know, he had throat cancer. That's a bad thing. But anyways, I want to talk about vacation homes here because the weather in Michigan from Memorial Day to Labor Day, I mean, that's what we really relish here. And in the great state of Michigan, what we consider up north, from those who are listening from parts around the world, you've heard about up north in the northern lower peninsula of Michigan, even in the upper peninsula. What great outdoor activity that we have in the summertime, in the wintertime. It's phenomenal out there. So taking a look at that, vacation homes, Lisa Lawson, here in the state of Michigan, vacation home buying is still hot. And that, no pun intended, the market's hot, the weather's hot. It's still very, very strong here in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes it makes sense if you have a favorite spot that you and your family want to go to multiple times a year, then you should absolutely be looking into buying a second home as a vacation home. Often you can rent it out parts of the year. It can even possibly be a moneymaker for you. But, if you're always going back to that same place up on the lake, why not make it part of your family's legacy and buy a second home? You don't need as much down as you think.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it's about the memories and the experiences that you create. And you create a legacy for your family and friends. And, they love going up there, spending time up there. And these homes are often in families, Harvey Freed, for decades. I mean, it's just a thing. I mean, it's a thing around here. Other states have their vacation areas. Wisconsin has the Dells. Michigan has up north. People from Chicago go around to South Haven and parts of Michigan City, Indiana, and around Lake Michigan. I mean, we have what we call up north, Harvey, and it's a great place to make memories. And historically, it's always been the case, correct?
Oh, yeah. Here, another thing that's come on most recently is the joys that people have just living on the bodies of water that we have across Michigan, of course, we have so many inland lakes. So I've had a whole bunch of friends who own places and were able to sell them and make a lot of money. They sold their primary house in a subdivision where they raised the kids. They sell their up north place, or in this case, a friend of mine sold off of a lake in Ortonville, not too far away from his home. And then they decided to buy on one of the bigger inland lakes here. So again, getting out there on the water, doing the golf, whether it be snowmobiling or whatever your leisure activity is, there's lots of fun things to do here across the state of Michigan. And boating is one of them here. We had the big fireworks show out on Sylvan Lake on Monday, which was a lot of fun. Cass Lakes, they actually canceled them due to the rain we had on Monday. And I'm sorry, on Sunday. And they went ahead and rescheduled. So still plenty of fireworks and summer festivities here. As Michiganders, we all enjoy our summers, and we always stretch it out as far as we can into September. So hopefully we're going to have this weather turn here for the good and several more months of really nice weather here.
So Harvey, it seems like all the people from Cass Lake came to my neighborhood, and instead of blowing them off on the lake, they came to my neighborhood. They decided that they were going to shoot off fireworks till 1 a.m. So appreciate that, but it's all good. Love to hear it. And I think I have the only dog in the neighborhood that doesn't get crazy about the fireworks. So anyways, Lisa Lawson, Vacation Homes. Let's talk about, it might cost people a little bit more money to get a vacation, a second home loan on now, but explain that a little bit. We think it's still worth it. It always costs more money to own a vacation home. It's just that now the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have put a few more charges to lenders to deliver those loans, correct? Lisa?
Yes, so they're called loan level pricing adjustments, or what we call in the industry is LLPAs. So when you buy a second home, there is a little bit of a premium, and we try to absorb that into the rate. So that means the rate for a second home is going to be higher than a primary residence, but it shouldn't deter you from buying that home. It's an investment property. You're building equity in a second home. You have the possibility of renting it out, making money. Obviously, we talked about, creating a legacy for your family with equity, as well as the memories, really, and that's what it's about. So, I definitely think that even though the rate may be slightly higher, it's nothing that should be deterring you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Lisa. And that's a great explanation of that. And I don't think we'll ever deter anybody because, listen, historically, we know rates have been a lot higher. We do. And we'll get into what the Fed's decision is going to be coming up. But it shouldn't deter anybody from creating that legacy and having those good times and having that spot to go, because rates have been much higher historically. Let's talk about this, Harvey. Let's chime in. Are we going to go, Harvey? I'm going to just go right direct. We had our pleasantries. We talked about what we did over the weekend. We talked about up north. We talked about creating legacies and experience. Are we going to experience here in the state of Michigan, even though there are inventory issues, are we going to experience a midsummer pause in home buying around here? Or will summer continue to be gangbusters, Harvey? In your opinion?
Yes, in my opinion, Harry, due to the multiple bids and the lack of inventory, I'm going to take it's going to still continue to be extremely aggressive, and the multiple bids are going to be out there. And this is going to not only carry throughout the summer, Harry, I think we're in for another 24 months worth of this. And it's no reason, there's no clear option of you want to wait for something else to happen. So what you want to do is get your family set up. We had calls. We were in here both on Monday, Harry, as it was a work day for us, and we were pre-approving buyers. And some of the buyers we were pre-approving, I already got the call from their local real estate agent. They were out already showing buttons. It starts with their clicking buttons still, Harry. We want to urge that so many of the listeners don't click buttons. What happens is when you're clicking buttons on these sites, I'll say one of them, I'll just name one of them off as Zillow. What you're doing is you're setting yourself up to be sold as a number. So people that I know buy these leads because you click a button. Now you're working with someone. Now you're in a car looking at a house, and they were getting their hopes up on a 275 house area where they really only qualify for about a 235 mortgage amount. So pretty scary out there. I asked a really tough question to this buyer, him, his wife, and the 4 children. They're out, they're getting excited. And I asked him a really good, important question that we use to qualify. I said, how much money have you saved to buy this house? And his answer was, like many others, 0. And I'm being taken back by this, Harry, because you're trying to buy a house. It's extremely competitive. It's 2023. There's no inventory. There's multiple bids, and you have 0. He wasn't pre-approved. So now we're working backwards. So sure enough, I got his father on the phone, and his father's more than willing to gift him $20,000. But hey, if you've got a parent out there that wants to help you, then perfect. We can help you also. We can help explain to all the parties involved how to properly document the gift letter and document the funds being transferred. But I'm still sort of taken back by people clicking buttons. They're clicking buttons and they're not getting educated.
It's going to be like that, Harvey. We're in that age where they're clicking first and asking questions later. It should be the other way around. We know that. Lisa Lawson, the question on the table right now is, because of all the noise, and the reason why I ask these questions is to provoke a response and to educate our listeners from all over the world. What are we seeing right now? We're seeing low inventory. We're hearing noise from around the country that it's slowed down in parts of the country. Well, it's slowed down because it was going way too fast. However, in our area, we know there's low inventory. We know that there are a lot of buyers out there. So I have to ask a question to you, same question that I asked for Harvey. Are we going to experience a midsummer slowdown, Lisa Lawson?
Well, I think midsummer's now, right? I mean, we're in July, and I spent Monday processing 3 purchase agreements on Monday. So before the holidays. So I'm not seeing a slowdown personally, at least here in like Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, the states. I have other states too, but the states that I'm working in, I personally have not seen a slowdown. That might be happening other places in the country, but it's definitely not happening here. We definitely have a major inventory shortage. Builders can't keep up. They can't build new inventory fast enough. We can't get people to list their houses fast enough. So at least here in this area, absolutely not. No shortage here.
Panel, I asked the question. I threw it out there. I have to agree with you. You hear the noise out there. I will tell you that in our area, southeastern Michigan, the state of Michigan as a whole, you've heard it, everybody out there listening from all over the world. This is a Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, 2289. Our NMLS number. Can't say that enough. The answer is no. It will not slow down this summer. Okay? Inventory issues. Okay? Builders are trying to build homes and make up for the lack of inventory. Not going to happen right now. Harvey said 24 months. Right now, if you take a look at the home buyers, the average age of a home buyer is 34. That means that the age group is 27 to 41, continuing to buy homes. Millennials are buying homes. Not enough homes for all of them to buy right now. We are not going to see a home inventory increase in any dramatic fashion soon. What does that mean? Does that mean it's not going to slow down as the weather gets a little bit colder going into the winter? Fourth quarter, first quarter. No, we're not saying that. Primarily it does slow down then. But we're talking about a home buying shortage. When I say home buying, home inventory shortage right now that is going to continue on. Whether it's 24 months, whether it's 18 months, 12 months, 36 months, nobody knows the exact number. But what we're saying right now is that if you find a house and it checks the majority of boxes, don't wait. Why? The price is going to go up. We're just saying that. That's exactly what we're saying. All right, panel, we're going to get into our last conversation right now. Appreciate you hanging in there with us. Question is this. Fed meeting right now, July 11th and 12th. There's mixed speculation right now. Article came out this morning. Yep, here it is. There's the article. Came out this morning, July 5th at about 6:15 this morning. Federal Reserve meeting minutes from June policy gathering to be released on Wednesday. That's today, are likely to show an active debate among policymakers who still, on balance, appear inclined to support more action to tame inflation. Translated, they think that they're going to raise rates again. Although, and this is a quote by key officials like Fed Chair Jerome Powell says, guess what? The committee clearly believes that there's more work to do and that more rate hikes are likely to be appropriate. We don't want to hear that at some point over the course of the year. Although policy is restrictive, it may not be restrictive enough. And it has not been restricted for long enough, which keeps alive prospects for more increases, okay? That's what Powell said. So if you read between the lines, he's obviously, and the committee is obviously keeping open for July 11th and 12th, another hike, all right? Are we built in already? Does it really matter to us? Is it just noise? What it does, it just creates a frenzy in the market. Are we used to that now? I can't answer that question. Lisa Lawson, I think it all comes down to this. Is it going to affect the buyer?
If you need a house, you buy a house. I mean, if you need to move and you get transferred with work, you buy a house in the other place that you're going to be working at. I don't think all the noise is going to affect people's home buying experiences. So for me, not so much, because I deal with mostly purchase business. May it affect some refinance because people don't understand how the Fed works and how it, relates to rates and everything else, possibly. But like I said, if you need a house, you're going to buy a house, and it shouldn't matter what the Fed is doing. I mean, I understand their point. Sometimes, like right now, I'm just sick and tired of talking about them. I feel like we've had this conversation like 100 times over the past year, and it's the same old, same old. You can't let them affect your life, and holding off on buying a house and continuing to pay rent to someone where you don't have an investment, you're not building equity, you're not building wealth, is silly.
I love that, Lisa. And we've said that forever and ever and ever. And, if you need a house, you're going to buy a house. Rates were 18%, people were buying houses. Harvey Freed, I feel the same way. The problem is we get dragged into these conversations because people talk about it, because the first question for 34 years when people find out that you're in the mortgage business, Harvey Freed, is what? Hi, Harvey. What's the next question?
Or rate.
What are the rates? What's your rate? Everybody, that's all they talk about. They don't talk about, hey, man, you know what? I really need to refinance because, you know what, Harvey? I've been thinking about it. I got $42,000 in credit card debt. The average rate is 18 to 22%. But, Harvey Freed, I don't want to refinance that into a 7.5 rate because the rates are too high. How, Harvey, help me with the insanity of that.
The math. We always say the math doesn't lie. Look, the high demand for housing is not going away anytime soon. We've talked about the population. We've talked about the formulation of families. Despite high demand for home prices will likely not fall. Will they cool off here and there? Maybe that house with old cabinets, with old electrical, with old components, with old heating and cooling, maybe that house will be discounted. Maybe because it has no roof. Maybe because it was over listed, maybe 15 or 20,000. Maybe you see a drop in the listing price. Other than that, the market is not going to change. They have not, and they will not build enough single family homes to put a dent in the housing inventory. Also, a huge trend in migration to vacation or Sunbelt places, Sunbelt states, Florida, Texas, Arizona, throw in New Mexico. These are the homes, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. These are the homes in different areas of the country where you're going to see more population and more families considering moving there. And again, making the prices go down it's not going to happen.
I like that, Harvey. I like what you're saying. I like what Lisa's saying. And this is why I love doing the podcast. I love bringing the show to everybody, the educational aspect of it, because it's called the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show and Podcast for a reason. We'll cut you right down to the truth. That's just what it is. Eliminate the noise. Forget about it. You heard it. If you need a house, you're going to buy a house. If you need to pay off credit card debt, pay off the credit card debt at a lower rate. All right. Your cash flow on a monthly basis will get significantly better. Harvey said it the best. You could say it. The math doesn't lie. All right, panel. Before I get to last words, Harvey, what do we have going on for the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show this Saturday, 9 to 10, 97.1 FM?
Yeah, we're happy to be back on the air, Harry. We've got eXp Realtor, Holly Amato, coming on. Holly's based out of the Macomb County, but she does all of Southeast Michigan. Very knowledgeable about home ownership. She'll give us a good touch and a good feel of what's going on, and of course the inventory numbers. We'll be talking constantly about inventory and some of the different buyers and things she's run up across on offers. Also, Carolyn Feldman with Nationwide Credit Counseling. I met her at a social function. She talked my ear off about credit, says she is the goddess and queen when it comes to families wanting to help improve their credit scores. That is very important as the competitiveness of today's marketplace. The FHA loans that are eventually allow people with lower credit scores to get into housing. Sometimes the real estate agents out there are not as familiar with it. And when you're not familiar with something, you might back off or be a little bit scared of it. She's going to just talk about credit and help maybe move some of the lower 600 credit score families into the 700s. When you get into the 700s, you definitely are setting yourself up for a conventional mortgage and a better opportunity to get that offer accepted.
Always great information, great educational information. We aim to bring that to our clients, the public. Just make sure you're getting accurate versus inaccurate information. Eric, you've said that for years. They say to me, the dissemination of accurate versus inaccurate information. Lots of inaccuracies out there. Can't be part of that. We'll bring you the hardcore truth. Lisa Lawson, going to go to you first. Last words of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about the truth is the most important thing. There's a lot of misinformation out there. If it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. And if you want the real information and maybe you're ready to take the first step, you might not be ready to move. You just signed a lease a couple months ago, but give us a call now. Let us pull your credit. I always say I like to maximize and optimize people's credit scores. So by the time they're ready to buy, they know exactly where they're at. They know how much money they have. We've evaluated all the down payment assistance programs, so they know what they can qualify for, and they are super confident and ready to go. So even if you think that it isn't this year for you, might be next year, call us. We can help.
I appreciate that, Lisa. As always great at what you do, bringing the most accurate information to our clients and the general public. Harvey Freed, last words of the day.
Well, my last words are, again, a lot of families got excited over this weekend. They went to some backyard barbecues. They got excited. They want a piece of this home ownership. Yeah, folks, home ownership brings you a lot of things, including wealth development. It's almost having a built-in savings account. Every time you make a payment on your house payment, X amount of dollars will come off your principal. Of course, we'll talk all about that on the radio show and getting that American dream. But a lot of families out there stop clicking buttons. The people that are clicking buttons are the less educated borrowers out there. We're either cleaning up a mess or we're working backwards. We truly want you to reach out to us at Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Sit down, do a FaceTime call. We do calls over the phone. We'll talk to your family members. I was talking to Dad down in Florida for a young family. The key is get truly approved and get a lot of knowledge behind you. The knowledge gives you the confidence to make that offer.
Appreciate that, Harvey. Lisa Lawson, Harvey Freed, Capital Mortgage Funding, the show produced and directed by Roberto Beauchene. He's in the booth getting ready to sign us off. Everybody out there, we could do a whole nother podcast and a whole show on what the truth is. There's something called now your truth. People are starting to tell their truth. What is their truth? No, stop that. There's only one truth. I don't want to hear anybody's truth. It's just one truth out there. But that's a whole different subject, everybody. This has been the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We appreciate all you listening out there. I'm Harry Glanz for Becky Ellie, John Kolb, our whole staff, Lisa Lawson, Harvey Freed, Roberto Beauchene, director in the booth. We'll see you soon.